What is going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully that's a good volume. It looks pretty good. So I didn't actually take a trade today. I'm recapping a trade that I just saw and just missed. A little disappointed, but it's okay. Still haven't had a trade for the funded, so you know, been a weird week with price action. I still think our draw is up here to where the volume imbalance moved since the contract switch happened for June. Um, it's really hard to be bearish, at least during the New York session. I feel like recently, with that volume imbalance still looming over us. But as you can see, end of London, I guess into our pre-market was just 300 points of sorrow after we chopped overnight. Chopped a little bit higher in Asian and a little bit lower for most of London. That could have been when London's Fed, or whatever you want to call it, EU, I don't know, gave its voice on global trade tensions and also its decision on rates, which stayed the same. I don't know what happened. I didn't care to look that much. So let's get through this. We were falling off open, figured we might take sell side, and now I was going to look for a reversal. We never quite got down there. We had a really solid relative equal high put in right here, pre-market. And when I say that, I literally mean like, look at how relatively close these highs are. That's a relative equal high. That's a pull of liquidity. It doesn't have to be 13 candles. Like, I'm comfortable with saying that's a relative equal low. And I would expect price to be drawn there, especially with sell side sitting below it. But we'll see, because we seem to just be up and away today. And I kind of got married to bias a little bit, and I think that's why I missed this one, because we took highs and we started to get pretty jagged in here. And we had a 1 hour inversion fair value gap, which I usually don't mark out, but it looked good to me today for where I thought price could potentially reach to, because this was also new day opening gap. Midpoint was right in here, 75% was right in here. We'll go over that one day, not right now. Also kind of figured not touching the first fair value gap, we might have a little bit of a draw right there back down into it. Even if it just acted as a place that we kind of bounced and went higher from, I figured we'd want to return to it at some point. So I had a bit of a bias towards downside, maybe more so than I should have. And I kind of got blinded to what I was seeing happen, specifically right here on this candle and the close of this one. I'll chart it out for you guys, but it's just a little bit of clutter, so I'm not going to leave it on. You can see us form the 5-minute inversion gap here, and we get a nice tap back into the very top of it, right at the midpoint of this BISI fair value gap. And then we instantly invert this. And I know you guys are looking at this like, what? What are you talking about? There's a wick here, but volume imbalance and volume imbalance, just don't look at the wicks if there's volume imbalances. It's still a gap. So we immediately inverse that, and that would have been entry right as we make a new high. And you guys can see 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, 4 minutes. We went for 78 points, and I guess we just hit 100, a little bit over 100, yeah. So, you know, very solid trade setup that presented itself that I just couldn't quite let myself get comfortable with, because I was married to bias a little hard. And it's tough to say that and see us running like this in a really solid trade that presented itself with genuinely almost no drawdown. What, like 4 points, 5 points? Yeah. So, yeah, that's our trade for the day that we should have taken, that I really would have liked to see us take. Just didn't quite compute things quick enough in my mind and make the shift. I mean, this was even in the middle of the macro. This is smack dab at 10 o'clock for entry. So this was a good setup. I've got to be a little bit more lax with my bias. I think I've missed 2 trades this week that could have been good. And I think both of them were kind of having the long-term mindset of, well, we're going to go lower eventually, and not realizing that we're kind of in the retracement range right now before we take our next leg down. and it stopped me from taking. I don't know if I've taken longs in like 2 weeks, like honestly, and I think I probably missed about 3 trades because of that. So I've got to just get a little bit more comfortable and confident in reading this price without a bias, especially in the very weird conditions we have. Because I mean, we're basically knocking out all of this end of London pre-market for us price action that we saw. But I'm going to stay on the charts a little bit longer. Maybe I'll catch a trade. If I do, I might try and just throw in a little update video later. If not, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Look for setup on Friday, and hopefully get that first trade on the funded. But like to say, we're not going to force anything. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.